Hello, everyone. Sorry that we're a little bit late. We had a little technical issues, but now everything is okay. So welcome to ASI Hour. So I just want to know from where you are. So if you can type there in the chat to know from where you guys are, you can say hello from where you are. That would be super, super cool. And let me see the polls that we have here. Okay, cool. Here we have one. We have a poll that it says, from where are you joining? So if you can go start answering the poll, that would be really cool. Great, Central America, North America, Asia, cool, awesome. Great, cool. Nice, we have a lot of people attending today. Okay, great. So we're gonna start with a word of prayer. And we can dive in directly to our webinar today, okay? Dear God, thank you for this moment that you give us, that we can use technology for your glory. We pray that the Holy Spirit can be here so we can learn all these things that what you want to teach us, and you can help us in our ministry to be more effective, to reach people so they can get to know you and be saved, Lord. We pray for this in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, great. So I'm going to put my slides here, and here they are. Okay, so today we're going to talk about social media marketing. And I know that here I have some polls, and I don't want to miss the polls. So, okay, great. I have a poll. I have a question here for you guys. Number one is going to be, does your organization have a social media expert or a social media team? Or it doesn't have to be an expert, but do you have someone dedicated for social media on your ministry? Okay, most of the people, they don't have. And okay, yeah, so for now, most of them, they don't have. Well, social media today is important, so maybe you want to consider to give the tasks to someone. Maybe not fully dedicated, because not all ministries have all the staff they want. In ours, we all have multiple tasks to play. But yeah, it would be very important for you guys to have someone so can have the task to think about that. Okay, I have another poll here. Poll number 2. Okay, is your organization present on social media? Okay, cool. So even though not everyone has a social media expert, at least most of ministries, well, now it's almost 50-50, yeah? 50-50, some are in social media and others not. Okay, great. Well, let's start with the slides. And let's start. Look, this is something very important. Brands that will stand the test of time, they have usually these 3 characteristics, they will connect with consumers emotionally. They will respond to shifting cultural attitude, and that has to do with innovation. That's very important. And they have a genuine purpose. So it will be really important for you as an organization to try to define what is your genuine purpose, and try to connect emotionally with your people. So what we're going to see today is like tools that will help us to achieve those 3 things, okay? So this is what we're gonna learn today. And remember that in the chat, you can go putting your questions, and so write them there, okay? We're going to learn how to develop a social media strategy. Then we're going to define our audience. We're going to choose the right channels. By channels, I mean what social networks, and how to have best practices at publishing content, how to build a community, a social community, and how to sell on social media as well, and then how to measure that, have metrics. And that's super important to know if you're being successful or not in what you're doing. So that's good. Okay, let's go. Social media strategy. What is that? It's a document that maps out how your organization plans to use different social networks. So this is like where you write down a document on how are you going to do social media advertising or marketing. So here comes another poll, and I want to know if any of you guys on your organization have a social media strategy. Okay, most of you guys don't. Some have. That's really good. So what I want to encourage you guys is that you have to have a social media strategy, because that will help you to have a clear path to walk through social media and do effective posting or advertisings to reach the people you want or sell the things that you want. So that's very important. So now we're going to learn how to do one. Okay, so strategy documents basically has these things. It clarifies company priorities. So for example, what do you want to do as an organization, as a ministry? Do you want to sell books about cooking? Do you want to sell evangelistic courses or training, evangelism training? Do you want to sell programs of a lifestyle center? So you have to clarify what is your priority. So everything that we do will focus on getting people to reach that, get leads on that priority. That will help you plan campaigns effectively, and it will encourage collaboration. Collaboration in what sense? Between all the team that you have, because it happens that in some ministries, there's a Facebook page, let's say, and there's multiple people from the ministry that are posting and putting things. So if everyone is putting random things, the message is never going to be clear. So that document, if everyone has it and everyone reads it and has it there when they are going to do something on social media, everyone's going to speak the same language to our customer. It will be easier to reach them. Okay, so please take your time and write a strategy document. And you have to be clear on what strategic goal you want to reach, and this goal has to be meaningful, easily understood, and measurable. So for example, let's say that I'm a cook, and I have a cookbook and I want people to buy more of my cookbook. So my goal, for example, would be like, I want to sell 5,000 copies till the end of the year. You see, so that's meaningful for me, easy to understand. It's measurable because I'm saying I want to sell 5,000 till the end of the year. So I have a way to measure if I'm reaching my goal or not. Very important. Other common goals are, for example, improve customer engagement. Like if you want to be talking with X amount of customers, generating more leads, if you want to grow in sales or increase traffic to your website, if expanding reach, if you want more people to know about you, or enhancing your brand perception, if people wants to have a better appreciation of who you are, so that's very, very important. So remember, clear goal. And let me see if I'm not missing any poll here that I'm supposed to be having with you guys. Okay, great. I know which is we're still not getting to the next poll. Then type of goals. So we have ongoing goals. This defines overall focus of your marketing. For example, the one that I put it to my cookbook, right? That I want to sell. That's an ongoing goal that is like long term. I want to sell 5,000 books to the end of the year. And other thing is a campaign goal. Like a campaign goal is like for a short term, because it's just one ad campaign that you do that maybe is going to last a week or a few days or a month. So you have to put a goal to that campaign as well. Like, for example, reach 20,000 people, or I want to sell 5 books with this campaign, So then you can measure also the goal of that campaign. Okay, it's a particular initiative within all your strategic plan for the year. For example, I want to reach anyone. I mean, everyone. And that's something very common to hear in people when they want to start, with a venture or a new lifestyle center or a new project. They want to reach everyone, but man, if you want to reach everyone, for sure you're not going to reach anyone, because everyone is too diverse. You need to try to look for your customer, your ideal customer, and try to reach that ideal customer. So to do that is that we need to define our audience. And for that, there's a very good practice that is creating customer personas. So how do we create a customer persona and why this would work to define my audience? So defining your audience is something that you will have to research. For some audiences, it's easy more to know who they are, but some not. So you have to take your time and do some research, understand the challenges of the people that you're trying to reach, their interests, and their demographics, where they live, their education, and all of that. So customer personas are semi-fictitious profiles, that represent ideal customers for you, like the ideals, the customers that you want to reach. And they're based on your experience and interacting already with customers if you have, or just research. So research resources come from observation. For example, the traffic from your website, you can analyze all the data from the traffic there, the traffic on your social media. Or for example, if you have retail locations, if you have lifestyle centers or gyms or whatever, you can also get information from who's the people that is coming more frequently in, asking for things. And if you have a CRM, of course, you have information. There are a lot of information that you can get about your personas, So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to organize your customers by group and design demographic behavior. So let's see an example of that. Let's say that I have a gym, and in that gym, I know that I have, like in general, I could separate this group in three. I have millennials that go there, to get some exercise. I have working parents that they go around after 5, p.m. because they get out of work. And I have retirees, that these guys go very early in the morning, they like to go to the gym. So these are like my main three personas. So what I need to do now is I need to get my demographics for each one of them. I have to put them a nickname. So let's say that we're going to work with the working parents. We're going to nickname like the mindful parents. So then you can relate them on your document or between your team just to know who they are. And you have to get the demographics like age range, profession, education level, family life, personality trait, preferences, and you go building all that. You get behavior patterns, like what are their personal goals? Like, why are they going to the gym? Maybe their goal is to feel fit, because, having kids, I don't have time to exercise. So that's why I come in here, because I want to feel better, and you have to learn their pain points. Like, what are their difficulties in life that maybe you can solve with what you're offering, and what are their preferences? And that's very, very, very important. And here I have another poll. And the poll says, here it is. Have you created your customer personas? Have any of you guys in your organization have created customer personas? Okay, some have done, but not everyone. So here, guys, I want to help you a little bit on this, because it's not that easy, to sometimes when you don't have the habit of doing this, to create personas. So here I have a handout that I want to share with you guys, and it's here, the persona canvas. So there you can click on the handouts. You go to the handouts section, where's the chat? There's chat, polls, and handouts. There you can download the persona canvas. So it's a PDF that will tell you what you need to fill, so you can discover, or not discover, create the personas. So then you can work with that to create your campaigns. Okay, guys? Great. Let's continue. So once you have your personas, you will be able to reach your audience and have a specific audience that you want to reach and know what to do to reach them. That's very, very important. And this is another myth that I hear a lot. You need to be active on every social network, and that's fake, guys. I mean, don't believe that. You just need to be on the right social network where your personas, where your customers are. And that's what you need to do. Invest in a smart mix of channels. You don't need to be in every social network. Just be on the ones where your customers are, and that's very important. So how do I find the right channels? Well, you have to research the channel's audience. So you can go to Facebook and see what's the audience there, or Instagram, etc., and review research studies. So like, for example, you see, if you Google this guys like eMarketer, Pew Research Center, Social Media Examiner, Business Insider Intelligence, you will see there a lot of reviews of different social networks. And with that information, you can get to know where or in what social network you want to be active on, you know? So for example, TikTok, we know that a lot of young kids are there. But Facebook, we have a lot of millennials and also adults, you know? But young people are like running away from Facebook. They're more on Instagram, for example. And YouTube, you know that we have a lot of a very diverse audience from very little to very, very old, you know. But in LinkedIn, we have professionals, you know. So you need to think who you want to reach. And through your personas, then you think in what channel you want to be. And also you have to discover how channels are distinct because they differentiate between them. You know, not all social networks have the same features. So that's something to have in mind. Okay, so one thing that we can do is communicate on the most popular networks. And why? Because they have a so big, wide range of audience that for sure we are going to be able to target some part of our customer personas. So for example, we have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Those are the biggest right now. So maybe you want to think and be on one of those, at least on Facebook, you know. Larger networks increase the chance of higher customer activity. So of course, if you go and you just create an account, for example, on Snapchat, you know, Snapchat is very little compared with a Facebook that has 2.4 billions of active monthly users, you know. So it's different. Yeah, as I was saying, Facebook has 2.4 billion active users, so that's a lot. And it has a wide variety of features that you can use to do ads. You can post content, you can create stories, you can create events, you know, and you can pay for ads to be on the side or as a post, and those ads can be targeted to a specific demographic audience, so it's super targeted. So yeah, there you have one. You have a lot of things that you can do with Facebook. Instagram, you have 500 million active users every month, you know. But this is more different than Facebook because it doesn't use much text as Facebook's or sharing different types of things. This is more visual, like people go there just to see pictures. So it's really cool. And a lot of people use Instagram to promote their products or services because, look, according to Instagram, what it says there, 60% of people surveyed have found new products there because it's more visual. Sometimes you're just scrolling and you see, oh, what's that? It's wow, a new camera, you know, oh, a nice knife, you know, I want that. So because it's more visual, you can reach your customer easier with something more attractive, more appealing to them with your product. Especially, for example, if you have there's a lot of people that follow a lot of cooks, you know, or food and things like that. People that like cooking. I like cooking, so I follow a lot of people that do nice cooking, like to have ideas for recipes. And sometimes I'm just scrolling, and because you can do ads with demographics, sometimes I go across through cookbooks, and it's like, interesting cookbook, you know, and you can just buy it from there. You can do the same. So that's also something that you would like to do. Twitter, top social messaging platform. So you can't, every post on Twitter, it's a max 245 characters or 240, around there. And it's ideal for joining trending conversations. So all depends on your customer persona. LinkedIn, here you have professional networking site, and it's also interesting to do business to business. If you want to do business to business negotiation here, because in LinkedIn, you have profiles of professionals and you have profiles of businesses, also CEOs and all of that, they're there. So also that's very good. It's owned by Microsoft, LinkedIn. And then we have YouTube, and YouTube, it's a whole other beast, you know, of itself. It's a top video sharing site. Business and influencers can create their own channel there. So you can have your own channel and start promoting stuff about what you do in an educational manner, get followers, and even use influencers from there. We're going to talk about that later. And content that you create can be monetized, so you can even get some money if your videos get a lot of views. But well, to do that, of course, you have to be really, really good on doing videos and being a YouTuber. So, and maybe that's a whole other talk, but still, maybe it's part of your plan. Maybe it's part of where the people that you want to reach are. And then we have messaging and chat-based networks. And this I want you guys to have special attention on, because not many people think on that. Let me see if I didn't miss another poll. Oh yeah, look, just here. So are you guys using messaging or chat-based networks to reach your customer? That means that you use messages, you use WhatsApp, Telegram. Okay, most of you guys don't, close to a 50-50. Okay, but most not. And this is something maybe you want to start using, The most populars are Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, and Snapchat. So of course, in Snapchat, you have more like the young kids and maybe some millennials. WhatsApp, you have almost everyone, and Facebook Messenger, yeah, a lot of people. But it really helps a lot, because when you chat personally one-to-one with someone, you can help them to reach the lead that you want them to reach, and for example, in my experience, when on OCI, we created a website, and a new website, and I didn't implement Facebook, WhatsApp, or Snapchat. I just implemented a chat box on the website. And I was able to help through a one-to-one connection to talk to people that was trying to apply for membership, for example. They were having difficulties, and I could help them on the way, and they could successfully apply for membership. And that's one of our goals that we have on our strategy, So that was super good, because I was able to personally help someone to help them achieve the goal that I wanted them to achieve. So that was really good. And a lot of companies, they use, for example, WhatsApp. They put it as if you need help, if you need support, this is the number, and people can directly talk with people. Hey, I'm having this issue. I want to buy this, but I don't want. I want to know if it has certain characteristics. Or hey, you know what? I want to go, but to your lifestyle center, do you guys do massage? And do you guys do also hydrotherapy? What types of things you do? Or so it's when you have a one-to-one connection, you have more opportunities to talk to that person and reach the goal that you want to do. And well, they're all free, as it says there. They reach internationally. They can write you from wherever, and they have enhanced features. Like, for example, you can send pictures, from the phone, or sometimes through an email. It takes more time, but here you can send pictures, videos, audios. It's very easy, quick to communicate, especially today that everyone wants answers like this. Not today, like filling a contact form and just to wait that it's going to take maybe 2 days for someone to answer. No, you need to have a chat box on a website, or at least an option to call to write on WhatsApp. You have to do that. So Facebook Messenger is used to send relevant ads to a user inbox. A lot of companies do that. So once you start chatting with people, then once in a while, you just send them ads, and to do customer services as well. And WhatsApp, you can download the app WhatsApp Business and have a WhatsApp Business account. So it's like WhatsApp, but not like your personal one. It's a different app, and it's just specified for your business. And it's really cool. And it has a lot of business options, like automatic responders and things like that. And Snapchat advertises through their original content, because you can, for example, if you're trying to reach more young kids and you're selling products for them, you can create videos about your products, and that will appear under the Discover section of the Snapchat. So, or if you pay for an ad, those videos will appear in between the videos that they see from their friends, things like that. So yeah, something that you should think on going into. And we have niche social networks, and this is very important, because maybe this ones are the one that pays more. You have a higher pay rate, a payback rate, maybe using niche social networks, because there's less competition, because they're niche networks, so not everyone goes there. Higher chance to make an impact, and higher user activity, and caters to a particular demographic. So you have all those that you see there are niche, social networks. TikToks are for people that like to, play with videos, usually young kids. Pinterest for people that are looking for designs, photo ideas, wedding decorations. So all that type of people, designers, and for example, in my case, I have a background. I studied software engineering. So for example, I use a lot Stack Overflow, but it's like a social network where coders and programmers just go and solve issues between them, So if I'm developing a product for them, maybe I'm not going to invest all my advertising in Facebook, but I'm going to go to Stack Overflow, and put ads there, because there I'm targeting specifically my customer persona, So niche social networks is something that we should look if we know that our persona fits on a niche social network. And maybe we should invest more time and effort and money in that niche social network than in Facebook, for example. Okay, publishing on social media. Let me see if I have another post here, another poll, sorry. Okay, we're doing okay. Okay, so we have to decide on 3 to 5 overarching categories of topics for what to know what content to post. Because if we post of just anything, like we talked in the beginning, we won't have a clear message to say. So let's say, for example, that I'm a cook again, and I want to share things about cooking. I have to decide on topics so I can have a constant message. And with that, constant messages that are directed to my goal. So for example, I'm going to choose the topics. I want to talk about properties of ingredients, of food. I want to share recipes, and I want to share, let's say, how to buy fruit. So I have those 3 categories, and those are the ones that I'm going to be posting, and only on just those topics. So people already, they get used that I'm going to talk about that I'm always going to talk about that. Sorry, English is not my first language. So if people get used that you're talking about something, they're going to expect that, and they're going to start having followers and loyalty to you. And then when you have things to offer to them, they already know you. But if you're always just posting random things, people, they don't know where you're shooting and they don't remember you. So it's very important. So the topics that you're going to choose, they just need to be engaging, relevant, and complementary to what you're selling. So for example, if I'm talking about how good some groceries are, like the properties of tomatoes and kiwis and whatever, maybe all of that I want to relate it that you can find all of this in my cookbook, and there you go. You complement to what you're selling. And you have to talk about things that are relevant. So for example, if I want to promote kiwi, and why kiwi is relevant? Oh, because kiwi is very high in vitamin C, and that will help you fight COVID, things like that. So you have to make that your post is relevant, and you have to make it engaging in a way that it's funny or looks good. If it's a video, it's super dynamic. So of course, it takes time. This is not something that you can solve very easily, like in a few seconds, but we're going to get to a point on how to do this in a very organizing way. And it's this: develop an editorial calendar. So here goes another poll. Do you have, as an organization, an editorial calendar where you have a calendar and you say, I'm going to post on Mondays, on Tuesdays, on Sundays, I'm going to post about a recipe, and on Monday, I'm going to do this, and on Wednesday, I'm going to tweet, and okay. So some of you guys have, most of you don't. So I encourage you guys, everyone, create a strategy document. That's fundamental. Then remember, look for your personas. Once you have your personas, look the channels where you want to go, and then create a calendar on what are you going to post or pay for ads or tweet or whatever you figure out that you need to do, but create a calendar that will make you do things quick, okay? So, this calendar will keep your social efforts goal-focused, as we say, organized. Essential for team collaboration. If you have multiple people working, everyone will know what to do. And You'll differentiate the message you plan to send on different channels, and that's very important. And now to create editorial calendars, you have Google Sheets, CoSchedule, Trello, Hootsuite, and Planoly. You can use those. For example, we do a lot of activity on Instagram, so we use Planoly. And it's not just the calendar, but I can create all the posts I want there in the calendar, and they're scheduled. So I don't even need to post them, like Planoly posts them for us. So for example, in our case, in our office, Tabata, she's in charge of creating all the social media posts for Instagram, and she has everything done till the end of the year, and the thing will post automatically. So that's really cool, really helpful. You don't have to be on top of things. Paid advertising. Paid advertising can help your campaign get visibility. Why? And this is very important if you just started in social media and you don't have much followers. Or maybe you started 3 years ago and you go to your fan page and you just have maybe 1,000 followers, and 500 or maybe 2,000, but you don't have like 20,000, 30,000. So when you pay for advertising, you're paying to your ad to appear, to show on people's feed that are not following you. So depending on the money that you put, and the amount is the amount of people that you can reach, but it's not that expensive. It actually is really cheap. And you can put a fixed budget to it. So you don't need to spend a lot of money. You can put as much money you feel comfortable on and see the results. And remember, if your goals are measurable and you have metrics, you will be able to see how successfully is being your campaign. So, and maybe it's not going to be perfect at the beginning, but that's the idea, to experiment, and experimenting, you will get better with it. You will be able to get exposure to a certain customer, because the cool thing of Instagram, for example, Facebook or YouTube, is that you can choose to target that ad to a certain demographic. So you can choose, for example, okay, let's say that I have a gym here in Chattanooga. I'm here in Tennessee, and I want my ad to appear to all people from 25 to 45 that live on, 30-mile radius from the center of Chattanooga. Like that exact, you can target people. You pay for it, and boop, it goes out. And then you have an analytics chart that will give you all the analytics of how many people have seen it, how many people have clicked on it, etc. So it's really good. So start investing on that. It will help you a lot. And then we have craft the right ad. How do we craft the right ad? You have to learn how social networks create a target. Like, for example, just go into Instagram or Facebook or YouTube and try to set up an ad, and you will see how it works. Align the ad with the goal. Which goal? The goal of your document, strategic document. And know which audience you want to target. Where's that? My persona. And decide on the campaign goal. And remember, that has to be with the call to action. Has to do with the call to action. So for example, if I want to sell a book, you have to pull the action there on your ad. Buy now, Or if you want people to go to your lifestyle center, like book a program now, you need to have a call to action so people know what to do when they see the ad. We just talked about this, ad budgeting. You can start as much money you feel comfortable with. Test different campaigns and platforms to see which one goes best. Remember, this is a lot of, test and run, errors, and some things were going to go really good. Maybe some unexpected will become a really good ad. So you just have to test and monitor progress and adapt for future campaigns. You have to test, get feedback, start again. Feedback, start again. It's the only way to get good. Okay, so now start something really interesting that I want to talk about. Oh, wait, let me see if I'm not missing any poll, because I always forget the polls. Where am I? Editorial calendar. Oh, yeah. We just talked about paid advertising. I had one here. Have you ever paid for advertising on social media? How many of you guys? Wow, so very few have paid in social media. advertising through social media. So guys, I really encourage you, pay for social media advertise. You can do it as very cheap as you want. For example, I remember that when we lived in Uruguay, my wife had a Pathfinder club, and she loves to have kids from outside the church to join Pathfinders, not people from in the church, because she likes to, evangelize kids. So she would just pay $125 for the whole month and get a bunch of exposure on Facebook there in Uruguay and get the kids that she needed, And it was just $125 for a month, it wasn't that much. So try paid ads. Okay, let's go back to customers. Interacting with customers. This is something very, very important. Build a community with your customers. Now, how I'm going to build a community? I need to create a forum, Do I need to create a website for them to meet? No, this is not the point. Here, when we talk about community, we're talking about a virtual community that maybe they don't have a point where they meet. Well, some of them, they do. But the thing is that they need to feel that they are part of your brand, of your community. You're gonna get this now. A group, it can be a group or an account run by your organization where people can come together over a common interest to share their perspective, discuss a topic, and support each other, And they don't, in this place, they don't have to passively follow you, They don't just click follow on your fan page or of Facebook or Instagram or subscribe on YouTube. They're actively interacting. So they are writing comments, they're writing things like, hey, your product is awesome, or, I would like to have this feature on your product, or hey, this lifestyle center is so cool. They have the best massage on the planet, things like that. And a good example is Peloton. I don't know if you have seen the ads of Peloton. They have like machines to do exercise for doing running. And they started with a fixed bicycle, and they have Facebook groups where people that buy one of those static bikes, they can join that group and they talk to each other. They encourage each other, And Peloton as an organization, they don't interact much except to reply to customer questions, or dissatisfactions that they try to solve. Or sometimes they put some ads of the new product that they have, and at the end, they have a whole big community that is there talking about Peloton, encouraging one customer to one another. And the organization doesn't do much than just reply once in a while, post things once in a while. And community benefits that you get is, you demonstrate support to them. You can educate your customers if you put articles, for example, about what you do. So for example, let's say, if you have a lifestyle center, create a group where all the people that have been on your lifestyle center, it's a private group, they can belong to that group. And they can all talk within one another, support to one another. And once in a while, you can put articles that can be from interest of them. And maybe we have a special program that you want to promote. Hey, we have a half price for this weekend, massage all day long with some spa and hydro, and yummy meals, all healthy, having a hike at the end of the day. And you have all your customers' personas right there to be targeted. It shows empathy as well, encourages a safe exchange of ideas, and that's really good. You can ask them about you, you can ask your customers, hey, what would you like to see? What would you like to see in our lifestyle programs? What would you like to see in a cooking book? Or what would you like to see in a certain product? So that's important. And because they can talk to you, and you can see that, and they can see that you react to their feedback, that increases trust and loyalty, and that's something that you want. And remember, LinkedIn, that it's from a university that we're studying this about communities, says a person's sense of membership on a social media can have a positive effect on their brand loyalty. Yeah, because for example, if I buy a phone, and the phone is horrible, and I write to them, and I never get a reply, it's like bad. But if I have an issue with the phone and I write to them and they reply to me immediately and saying, man, we're so sorry, we want to fix this, and at the end it was an issue of the phone, and send me a new one, I want to be promoting this phone and this brand to everyone, you know? So that generates loyalty. So how do you build a community? Identify which topics your customers are passionate about. You can create a group about that. On your campaigns, you can ask them directly for, you can ask them directly for something, you know? And proactively respond to their feedback. If you're going to, if someone writes to you a question and you take more than 24 hours to reply, oh man, that's something that you don't want to do. You want to reply quickly because everyone wants response quickly today. And feature the input. If you have a great comment, share it on a story or something like that. And providing social first customer service. We talked about this. This is super good, using WhatsApp and all that stuff. I'm going to go a little bit faster because we're almost about the end of time and we already started late. Handling a complaint, I just talked about this a little bit, but remember, if someone complains, publicly acknowledge right on there. I'm very sorry that you're having an issue with our product or service or whatever. We want to make things better, and then you move to a private forum. Let's talk this privately, and you can talk through messages or etc. Don't move to WhatsApp if you're talking on Facebook. Don't move to Instagram if you're talking on Facebook. If the conversation started there, go to a private message on the same platform, just to make it clear for the customer. It's going to be easier. Keep it on the same network, you know, and answer within 24 hours, please. That's crucial. Let me see how we're going with the polls. Okay, good. Selling on social media. We're going really fast here because we're about to end. We're losing a little bit of time. Just to have like terminology difference, we have direct sales. That is when you create an ad that generates sales directly. For example, buy my book right now, and people right there buys the book. That's a direct sale through one post. And assisted sales is when you generate a sale by many social media ads that you send, and that creates like trust and loyalty, and at the end, at the long term, it generates a sale. So for example, this could be an article that complements your product and newsletters and all of that. So you have to think all of that when you create your strategy or your calendar. You know, if you have too many direct sale ads, people they're just going to notice that you're not interested in them. You know, you just want them to buy. But if you have a lot of posts when you're trying to educate them, you're trying to know more about them, ask them about things, and then you send a direct sale, it's different. So go there, creating variety. And remember, create a story brand. This is I remember that we talked, when I did the previous webinar about nuts and bolts in media ministry, we talked very briefly about how to create a story brand. I'm not going to take time to talk about that, but please Google it. Go to YouTube, just put story brand and see any 5-minute resume video that will resume the book. And that will help you immensely to create a story brand so you can sell effectively to your customers, you know? And partnering with influencers. 63% of customers trust an influencer over brand claims, and that's really important. So this is the other thing. Here I have the other poll. Like, have you ever used an influencer to market your service, product, or brand? Yeah, this one, I know that almost anyone has done it, you know, and maybe we should, because people trust in them. So for example, okay, we have some people that have used influencers, cool. Maybe you have to pay them and everything, but it pays back because people trust in what they say. So for example, if you have a lifestyle center and you know an influencer that's a really good cook on YouTube, and you pay them, you send them, hey, promote my place where they can learn how to cook good and have a healthy lifestyle, man, or promote your book, you know, whatever, it's gonna be really, really good. What's an influencer? For the ones that don't know, it's an individual that builds a loyal audience on social media, podcast, and email, newsletter, blogger as well. So a lot of people follow them because they're interested on their opinion. So because they trust their opinion, if you contact them to promote something from you, they will trust on that as well. So if you want to work with influencers, you have to make sure that you pick one of these 3 methods to work with them. You can do a sponsored partnership, or for example, if they have a show that they launch on YouTube every week, they will just mention you as a sponsor in between, at the end, or at the beginning of the episode, for example, like a short ad. You can do a review, and this is like a lot of people do. For example, when a new camera arrives, Canon, for example, they have a new camera, they send it to this guy and they give it to him for free. And this guy, that is like their pay, and they do a review about the camera, how awesome it is, you know? And then we have a co-branded things, like, for example, Peter McKinnon, that he's a very, very well-followed influencer in filmmaking, for example. He created with a brand a backpack to carry audiovisual equipment with his name, you know? So he promotes it as like, it's like the best backpack in the world, and it has his name on it. And so the brand and him get a share of the profit. So that's a way that you can work with them. So just make sure that you're very clear on what you're trying to promote, and set clear goals to guide the structure of your campaigns, especially with influencers. You have to have a way to measure, have metrics on if this influencer is working for you. So for example, if you're going to sell a lifestyle program through an influencer, well, then give him a promo code. Like if I'm going to be the influencer, my name is Sebastian, and I could say to my audience, like, hey, you know what? Go to this lifestyle center, use your promo code SEBA123, and with that, you will get the 50% discount. So then, me as the lifestyle center, I can see in my sales how many people signed up with that promo code, and I can see how effective was my influencer on the ad that I paid for, you know? So that's something that you can do. What other polls do I have here? Oh yeah, so now measuring things on social media. So here's the last poll. We're about to finish. This is the last topic. Have you established metrics to measure results of your post or ads on social media? Okay, so if you guys, just according to the polls and all the replies that I'm getting, most of us haven't implemented none of these things on our social media activity. So what I want to encourage you guys is this slides. I will give them at the end as a handout. You can be able to download them, and you will. I guess that ASI sends a reply of this, or you will be able to see it on the website. I think I'm not sure about that. I don't remember. But please implement those things, and you don't need to go think like overthink this. Don't lose much time procrastinating, you know? Just create a document. You can go publishing it on time. Create a calendar, make your personas, you know, choose your channels, start doing ads, create a story brand, you know, and start doing things and experimenting. Pay for ads. You will see that it's going to pay back if you follow those things, and you don't need to do it that complicated, you know? So about measuring, you know, track your, you need to have a number, and remember that's important to have your goals. So for example, let's say that I wanted to reach, I want to create a strategy where I want to have 5,000 more followers till the end of the year. So I do an ad, let's say an ad, I do an ad, and it lasted a month, and I got 2,000 clicks, you know, to my fan page. From those 2,000 clicks, I got 500 people following me. So that ad cost me $180, and from those $180, I got 500 followers. So if I just do a simple division, I can notice that for each people that follows me, I just have to spend $0.36, you know? And you say, hey, cool, this was just in 1 month. If I have 12 months till the end of the year, for sure, maybe I'm gonna get my 5,000 or maybe more, you know? So that's the way that you can measure, you use these metrics to measure the effectiveness of your ads, okay? So these are some tools here in the bottom: Google Analytics, Mixpanel, Matomo, Quietly, Keyhole, Sprout Social, Agorapulse, Basomo, Mention. All of those are tools. Some of them are free, some of them are paid. They will help you to track and get analytics from your social networks to see how is the interaction of your ads, clicks, how many people, demographics, and etc. See how effective. Don't stay just with one, because they use different algorithms and different way they study data. So use at least two, go testing many of them and see which one works good for you. Okay, guys, questions and answers. I haven't seen the chat that much, but let me see if I have some questions here. If you have some, you can write them down on the chat. And okay, how do you find the influencers? Well, that's really cool. That's really a good question. Well, you just have to go to the channels where you want to act, and you have to just search for them. Like, you can look for the people. For example, if I am a tourist agency, and of course I don't want influencers that are about travelers, so I just start looking for travelers, and I look for travelers that have a bunch of followers. If you see like travel influencers on Instagram that have more than 46,000 followers, well, that's an influencer that maybe you want to start reaching. And YouTube, the same thing. If you see someone with 1 million followers, well, then that's a good influencer. So you just have to research on the networks, on the channels that you are, and start looking for the topics that your organization is about, and you will certainly find people with a bunch of followers, and those are influencers. Yeah. And for example, in my case, I do filmmaking, and because I look and I research about on YouTube about new cameras and all that stuff, I'm already used to know who are influencers on the filmmaking area, you know. So the same thing, if you're into cooking, for sure you already know who are influencers in that area. How much does one pay? What's a good guide? Well, it depends. Yeah, it's not that easy. But of course, for example, from the area that I'm more familiar, for example, filmmaking, if I go to Peter McKinnon, that I know that this guy is one of the biggest influencers on YouTube on that area, of course, it's going to be quite expensive. But you just have to reach them, you know, reach them, talk with them, tell them that, you know, maybe you're a nonprofit or new organization, and see how much it is. You know, you just have to talk with them and try to get to a good negotiation. Send them things for free, you know, things like that. So it's not that bad. Okay, which do you recommend for blogging, Squarespace or WordPress? Oh, well, my personal preference is Squarespace. But interesting that no one will know about your blog if you don't spread out the word. So you still have to do ads on social networks. Unless you use Tumblr, for example. That Tumblr, it's like a niche social networks of talking and blogging, or Reddit, you know? Okay, here we have another question. I have an abandoned YouTube channel with 17,700 followers. No, nice. That's a good number. It is a good idea to change the name of the channel. Now I almost finished my career as a vegetarian chef. Okay, so it depends. If the name of the channel that you have really has a good positioning, maybe it's not a good idea. But a lot of influencers started in the beginning with a name, and then they changed it to their personal name. Like, for example, Mati Hapoya, he started with his name was Travel and Feels, I think. So it was about traveling and doing videos about traveling. And then when he had a bunch of followers, he just changed the name to his personal name, no Mati Hapoya. So if you change the name, just make sure that you make everyone know about it. Do a video about that. Hey, we're changing the name, you know, and you make a big thing about it so people know. So that's important, but don't do it too often, because the idea is that if lots of people know about the name of your blog, your name is positioned somewhere. And if that name disappears, and they don't know that they've changed, you're going to lose the positioning. So it's very important to keep that. Okay, I think there's no more questions. I have here a few handouts. Yes, here's the handout of the presentation. You can go to handouts there. You can download the slides here that I just shared. You can keep them. I hope they will be useful for you so you can grow with your ministries. Do you do this for people? What do you charge? What do you mean with what do I do? You mean assisting them in how to create a social strategy? That's what you say? Oleta Emerson, if you can type there if this is what you mean with your question. And meanwhile, here I have a call to action in a way for my for my talk. If you're interested in media online training, we're planning on doing this and having an online training and a whole month of in-depth training on how to do videos, how to do websites, how to write a script, how to do posts and podcasts and all of that. If you're interested, just click there and you will get notified when we have the course available. Let me see if we have here all the steps that I described. Oh yeah. So well, in my case, I work in OCI. In OCI, we're all about helping ministries grow and thrive. So if you go into the website there, you can apply for membership, and we help all members on their issues that they have. So yes, we can assist you in social media. And you can also, if you're not a member of OCI, you can still ask for a consultation, but it's just going to be priced at a higher rate than for members. But yeah, we can help you and we can assist on getting a social media strategy and everything that we just talked about. I don't remember the cost per hour because I'm not in charge of the services, but you can check on our website. It's outpostcenters.org, or you can write me to my email and then I can get back to you with that price. May I have your email contact? There is my email. So, well, guys, if there's no more questions, I was very happy to share with you. See you next time. Remember, they will send a newsletter, as always, about the next ASI Hour talk. So let's pray to finish this webinar talk. Oh, dear Lord, today we talked about so many things about social media. Sometimes it sounds so easy that we just can pause something and, big things will happen. But just as you are a God of order, help us to organize ourselves, to create a document that we can create a strategy for a ministry. Because if we want to do this to get more attraction on social media, it's not to lift us up or our organizations. It's because we want to reach more people so they can get to know you. We want to lift you up. Lord, I want to beg also that the Holy Spirit will impact each one of us with ideas. You're the master creator, the master creative director. Please, Lord, guide us and use us as powerful instruments for your glory, Lord. And we pray for this in Jesus' name. Amen. Well, guys, see you on the next time.